Just a day after Joe Yabuki finished his fight against Aoyama, he was seen hitting the punching bag and practicing in order to fight Rikiishi Toru in the final juvenile boxing match, which was long awaited by inmates and even the officials to see who was stronger. As Joe Yabuki keeps hitting the bag, Rikiishi Toru shows up and delivers shocking news to Joe. He tells Joe that he's no longer going to fight him in the coming weeks due to a reason that will be revealed later. Joe Yabuki asks why, and Rikiishi laughs and hesitates to tell him. Instead, he says they can fight now. Joe Yabuki, already having a plan in his mind and not wanting to be a coward, agrees to fight him. An official comes to stop it, but Joe shoves him to the floor and also sends Rikiishi to the floor with some heavy punches. Rikiishi isn't having it, and he tells Joe Yabuki he wants to fight now. So they both walk into the ring, ready to go down on it. One inmate, who sees what's going on between both of them, rushes to tell the security that all the inmates are fighting, but they don't know why. The inmates have a plan to distract the guards from interfering with Rikiishi and Joe's fight and focus on their own. Most of the inmates want Rikiishi to beat the hell out of Joe since he was troublesome. Back in the ring, Rikiishi tells Joe Yabuki that he's going to make him sleep in the fight. Rikiishi wants to knock him out completely. Rikiishi also tells Joe that he's going to make this fight fair and square, and that he won't do anything to force Joe Yabuki to cheat. They agree that the winner will be decided by KO, and that there's no need for a referee. Rikiishi doesn't know what Joe Yabuki is doing behind his back, as they are wearing their gloves, but he tells Joe Yabuki that he's going to beat him to a pulp. The guard who was knocked out by Joe then wakes up and rushes to tell the other officials about the fight about to begin. Everyone rushes there, including the inmates, to see the fight. When they arrive, they're shocked. The old man Danpei is horrified to see the pool of sweat and everything on the floor. They had battered each other. Rikiishi was the one taking most of the beating. Whenever Joe hit him, it felt like Rikiishi was being hit by a truck. Joe Yabuki's punching power looked stronger than ever. Everyone is surprised. Joe hits Rikiishi with over 12 combinations, and even Yoko Shiraki turns her head in pain, watching Rikiishi Toru being humiliated. Rikiishi then asks himself why Joe Yabuki's punches are so hard and making a fool out of him. Eventually, the combinations continue, making it over 20 straight shots to Rikiishi, and he cannot even do anything about it. Fans are surprised that the great Rikiishi simply can't move or block the shots. Yoko Shiraki begs Joe Yabuki to stop and tells Rikiishi Toru to also stop, promising that he will be released in 3 days' time from prison and will be sponsored by her father into pro boxing when he finally leaves. Joe Yabuki is surprised to hear this, and immediately Rikiishi counters him and sends him to the floor. Despite the counter, Joe Yabuki hits him again and again, and yet Rikiishi can't fathom how he can't do anything. He then falls to his knees, and it seems like Joe Yabuki has finally gotten the best of him. Rikiishi stands up again and says he wants to finish Joe Yabuki, that if he doesn't beat him up, how can he be a successful pro boxer after remembering that an amateur like Joe Yabuki beat him? They want to go at it again, but the old man stops the fight and manages to convince them to relax, saying they'll fight another day. Rikiishi eventually parts ways with Yoko Shiraki, and the other inmates leave after seeing the fight is over without any winner. The old man Danpei speaks to Joe and tells him he's proud of how he fought Rikiishi. Then he tells Joe to take off his gloves. Joe refuses to take them off in his presence, so he forcefully removes the gloves and sees Joe Yabuki cheated. He was holding a rock throughout beneath his gloves, and this is why his punches felt like a truck hitting Rikiishi, and why Rikiishi couldn't do anything about it. It was never real. Joe Yabuki could not beat Rikiishi Toru. He cheated for the sake of his own pride. See you in the next Ashita no Joe video.